I mean, let's talk about the Lakers versus Grizzlies game first. What a game! I mean, we expected LeBron to close out the game in Game Six, but we never expected D'Angelo Russ to play the way he played, right? And it was a blowout. Dylan Brooks wanted a 40 point, and the Lakers gave him a 40 point knockout in this round. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think like we were predicting Lakers to win in six, but oh my man, they really came in, they took care of business. Like I think after the first 5 minutes, Grizzlies were down bad, and they lost every quarter. I mean, LeBron was 9 for 13 from the field. He got 22, but it wasn't even LeBron, right? We were talking about D'Angelo Russell not performing to his level, and this was the game where we knew D'Lo could get that one shooting game. He gets into his rhythm. And today was that game. Even though game four, he had those clutch threes, this game was massive. 12 for 17 from the field, got 31 points. He was the only starter who actually played in the fourth quarter, played for like 2.5 minutes and then got subbed off because by then it was like a 40-point game and 30-point game, and Lakers knew that there was no way Max Christie was about to blow this out because the Grizzlies just fell flat on their face, guys. So I have some stats for you right now. Santi Aldama, 6 out of 10 tonight, right? There's a reason I'm bringing up Santi Aldama because he's the only Grizzly player in the entire lineup today who made anything over 40% from field today. Anyone over 40%. The backcourt that gave Lakers buckets in game 5, Desmond Bain and Ja Morant, both scored like 13 points and 14 points in this game, which is crazy because they were 3 for 16 and 4 for 18. And these are bad performances tonight. It was like the Grizzlies honestly gave up today. They did not feel like they were playing with any kind of intensity. It was the last game of their season. It was the last journey, and I thought they would give Lakers a run for their money. Honestly, I was a bit scared that the Lakers team with all these old heads might get run up by the young heads of the Grizzlies because they had their back against the wall. Maybe Dylan Brooks has a crazy performance, but Dylan Brooks just showed that he is all talk and nothing else. 10 points on like 3 for 14 shooting. Once again, a very inefficient night. Rudrash talked to me about how LeBron, 9 for 13, did not play the fourth quarter at all. AD did not play the fourth quarter, and I think Lakers are saving up for that game for the second round matchup already.
I think, yeah, like we all predicted, and especially me. I think I was very confident in the Lakers finishing this off in six. I think Angad had his doubts about the Lakers because they've been inconsistent this year. But for me, from the post game that LeBron had, where he took the accountability and he was like, "I cannot be this bad." I felt like LeBron took it personally, and I felt like he was gonna show up in the next game, and he did. But overall, the Lakers set the tone very nicely. Right from the beginning, they jumped the Grizzlies and they just never looked back. Uh, the Grizzlies actually came out with the first 5 points over the Lakers, but then from that point on, just looked really, really bad. Just couldn't get anything going, and the Lakers had like massive. It was almost like a block party tonight. Like you were telling me about I don't know how many blocks did they have.
That 15 blocks to the
15
Grizzlies
blocks.
too.
15 blocks to 2. So like obviously the defensive end was there for the Lakers, and obviously uh, they they were wanting that and they were needing that D'Angelo Russell game, and it showed through. But I think everybody else was also played really nicely. Like LeBron had a good game, even AD had a decent game, uh, and I think it was an all-around effort, and just the Grizzlies never came up for it. Like a bit disappointing that I probably would have wanted to see a little bit more fight from the Grizzlies, even though I don't really like them as a team. But obviously, love a little bit of a contest. But great for the Lakers. Obviously, we know they're a bit top heavy, and both of those stars require their rest, especially LeBron at his age. Um, yeah, so good for them that they finished this in six and did not take it to seven. Obviously, you never want to be in a 7 game series, and especially not back in Memphis where they just whooped the Lakers in the previous game. So good for the Lakers that they finished this off quicken early and they get their rest and wait for the next round.
I
So then
mean,
Lakers, after the bubble run in 2020, like this is the first playoff series that they've actually won, right? They lost to the first round Phoenix Suns in 2021, did not make the playoffs, and obviously winning this. How do you think the momentum for the Lakers team is going to be after you saw the home crowd really cheering for them tonight? And what do you think is going to be the intensity for these players because they have a lot of old people on this team still?
it was a beautiful game defensively. I think so. The LeBron and AD crushed the Grizzlies in the defense in the first quarter itself. I think so, which was a very big punch to the gut for the Grizzlies team, who were looking absolutely unstoppable in the first 5 games. And talking about the team, I think so. The team is in very good shape now. In this series, we have seen Rui Hachimura score. We've seen Austin Reeves in a very good form. We've seen LeBron in a good form. We've seen AD in a good form, right? And we've now also seen D'Angelo Russ firing up, the only player who was not particularly firing up. And we saw Vanderbilt defending a lot better in this game as well, keeping Bain at bay in this particular game. I think so. Everyone on that team has gotten the minutes to play. Everyone on that team has gotten the confidence to blow off the next whosoever comes in the next matchup with them. And I think so. That's very required. That was very much required for these young guys to get the self confidence, because the self confidence is a lot of things, and then they can use the IQ of Austin Reeves and LeBron James on the court. I heard Austin Reeves talking about how he clicked with LeBron with regards to the game IQ, and both players, I saw them talking during the game as well, and then probably bringing the game home. And Austin Reeves just enjoying the game with Lakers. D'Angelo Russ performing for the team that drafted him. It was his best match in his playoff career. This is the first time that he was shooting above 50% from the field, and 55% from the 3-point range as well. I think so, and it is the first time that he scored 30 plus in a playoff game. And it's the first time that a seventh seed has beaten the second seed by over a 40-point margin. What else do you want for the team? This win, if it would have been close, then it would not have been uh, a greater push for this team. But I think so. This thumping win gives them a greater push moving forward. It would be difficult. It would be a challenge in the next series as well. But if Golden State comes, I think so that would be a bigger challenge for LeBron and the team. But I think so if Kings are there, I think so the defensive production is such that they will be able to clutch in Kings in the next game. But I think so that self confidence was required. This thumping victory was required for the team. The defensive production, which we was missing in the last game, was required for the team. LeBron not being the best player and other players scoring up, I think so. It's just great.
I think brilliant points you got in, Srijan, especially, about D'Angelo Russell finally finding his form. I think, obviously Darvin Ham, you had that quote from Charles, like Darvin Ham had a particular coaching session with his entire coaching staff on how to blitz Desmond Bain and not let him get to his midi spots and not let him get easy shots, right? Um, Rudrash, we're going to talk about the next series really soon, but either team in out of Kings and Warriors have been really playing well offensively, right? We know about the Warriors offense for all these years, high pick and rolls, Steph just going haywire from three. Clay could, catch a fire on any moment. And even the Kings offense, which has been really good with Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, the Kentucky boys firing on all fronts. By all that said, right, they are two offensive teams which are offensively relied and do not, are not the best defensive teams. Warriors has been, but this season not particularly hasn't been the best defensive team that won them the title last year. Do you think the Lakers defense is going to match up against both these offensive, either team, whoever gets out of that round one series?
I think both of those teams are very similar offensively. Like, um, they run a lot of plays. Both of those coaches come from a similar background, more so than anything. Um, and I think both those teams match up very well against that touted Lakers defense as well. Uh, they have a lot of different weapons on both those teams. If either team makes it, I think it will give the Lakers defense a run for their money. But I think, yes, the Lakers defense can hold up. But for me personally, I feel like the Kings would be a favorable matchup for them because they have better inside defense than the 3 point defense in Lakers with AD at the helm. It'd be much harder to drive on AD being the shot blocker that he has been in these playoffs. Like we mentioned before, that he has been the best shot blocking guy, in the best defensive guy you can have in this series. Uh, but other than that, they have better like inside defense, and which will be better in terms of matching up against the Kings rather than the Warriors. The Warriors are more of an outside shooting team, which tends to go inside sometimes. But with D Fox, with Sabonis, I think the Kings would pose an easier matchup for these Lakers.
I want to quickly touch up on the Grizzlies, right? So obviously they had two of their probably seven best players out throughout the series, but Brandon Clark has been injured since almost 2 months now. Steven Adams out for the season with that knee thing, almost a month out, and they knew that they were missing these players, and they were still winning a lot of games. Obviously, got to the second seed, could have dropped down. I mean, if they wanted to check up that matchup, but they took care of business in the regular season, and they still lost, right? They have Desmond Bain still on his rookie contract. Ja Morant recently got that extension and everything. And um, Dylan Brooks, 35 million for 3 years, is going to end this season. First of all, do you think Dylan Brooks is getting signed by the Memphis Grizzlies? And after that, what do you think is going to be the Grizzlies' potential next season? Because it's 2 seasons in a row that they've taken that second seed. They've never been the first seed, but they've taken the second seed. And now 2 seasons where, I mean, last season it was still a better or poor season, but this season definitely underwhelming. Did not match up to the Lakers. Got 2 games, but we always knew that the Lakers were in the driving seat, lost the first game, lost home court advantage, everything. I think the Grizzlies have a lot to make up, but overall, what do you have? What is your guys' impression on this younger side Grizzlies team?
I think they're a good team overall. I don't really know about Dylan Brooks getting re-signed, and even if he does, I feel like he's hurt his contract chances a lot
For sure.
with just his on-court antics and just I think he fits the bill for that team because looking at the rest of the team with Ja Morant as the leader, I feel like that the identity of that team. That's what they've been like for the last 2 years at least, and they have been that team that calls out other teams, that calls out other players, but they've not really shown up.
We're
And
fine in
like
the West.
yeah, the fine in the West really like aged like milk. Although I do agree that they had a lot of injuries in coming into the series, and then even that Ja Morant injury happening again, uh, which did happen last year as well, which might pose another big question for the Memphis Grizzlies, that how durable is Ja with his like play style. He goes up on every drive, and even on the defensive end he jumps like with no caution to anything. And uh, I feel like if your center player is getting injured, like your centerpiece is getting injured so much and he's so reckless, do you even try to build around him, or do you try to uh, coach him better? Do you try to get him in a better mindset, both for his like on court work as well as his off court tantrums and stuff? I think they need to get that stuff in order first. They need to be mentally ready for the championship. I feel like they're doing a lot more talking than putting in that work, especially Dylan Brooks, who's been all talk and no offense, no defense really. So I feel like it's a mental thing for them, but they're trending in the right direction. Like you've mentioned, they've gotten high seeds in the last 2 years. They're a good, promising team in terms of talent, but I think it's just a mental issue.
Yeah, I mean they've been talking a lot. Jawaran saying that we're in my city, the in my city remark, and then scoring 12 odd points in the game, and Dylan Brooks going after saying that I do not respect a player who does not score 40 on me, and then getting 25 to 30% from the field the whole postseason, and other players trash talking you. I think so. The trash talking needs to be backed up. If you cannot if you cannot back it up with your performance, you should not trash talk as well, right? And that has been very offensive towards the team. But I think so. That's okay going into the game. Uh, but the problem is that if you are talking this much, you should be performing as much as well, right? Talk needs to come with performance. If the performance is not there, don't talk, right? It's just that simple.